Hello and welcome to Just Get It There. We're going to talk about a video that I've been wanting to do for a while now. It's a little bit of a array of what's been going on with Crete since I came here. As you notice, I am not in my truck. I am sitting at home. I will get into why I'm home and what happened. But first, let's give you a little backstory on Crete Carriers. I started working for them in August of last year. They had an issue. I went for my orientation, 3-day orientation. I did a road test, the whole 9 yards that you do for orientation. I did a road test. I ended up having a rash with them. Sent me home for a couple weeks. Got the rash cleared up. Got put into my first truck after I got done. But before they would clear me to come back, I had to go for another DOT physical. When I went for the DOT physical, because I was out, they wanted me to have the rash put on my DOT lung form. I'm not being treated for it. For some reason, Crete Safety Department, and they seem to think they know it all, which they don't know nothing. Because you don't put stuff on that you're not being treated for. So they ended up, where I live in New York, they wouldn't put it on there because it's illegal. So they ended up sending me down to Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, to my home terminal, to get this rash put on my long form. Okay, got cleared by safety. And lo and behold, I get told, oh yeah, your truck's not here in Mechanicsburg. Your truck is in Indianapolis, Indiana. So I had to drive to the Indianapolis terminal to go get the Kenworth that I was going to go pick up. Lo and behold, the truck that I was picking up, which by the time I would have got there, the shop was closed, couldn't get keys to the truck till the next day. So I went and spent the night in a hotel. It's the one nice thing about Crete is they give you a hotel to sleep in that they pay for. They turn around and put me in the hotel. Got there the next morning, got to the truck. They had issues with that truck that was still in shop status. Now, mind you, this was handpicked by the terminal manager in Mechanicsburg, telling me that this truck was all ready and good to go. Yeah, I'm already behind the 8 ball because I spent 2 weeks at home, not making any money, not doing any miles, so I ended up just taking the truck just so I could roll with it. I had to come all the way back to New York to go get my stuff so I could put it in the truck. Headed over to Kenworth because the headlight went out. Crete does not allow us to do any maintenance, anything like changing headlight bulbs or doing anything to that sort of affair. So they ended up having sent over to Kenworth where it sat for almost a month. Excuse me. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting around doing absolutely nothing. Not getting any money, not getting any pay. And they found out that with the breakdown, they weren't going to let Kenworth fix the truck. They decided, we'll fix it in-house. Obviously, this started the downfall to the world of being very unproductive for Crete because they were on me from day one, saying I'm not productive. Obviously, they don't know what productive is because it was at Kenworth to get fixed, so just getting the okay and getting Kenworth to fix the truck. They decided, oh, we're going to have you take it to one of our terminals and get it fixed. And instead of doing that, they decided to fly me out to Illinois. Meanwhile, all my stuff's in this truck. Instead of having me take this truck over to Indiana, then go to Illinois to go get the truck, nope, we're not going to do that. We're going to have you we're going to fly you to Illinois, go get the truck, and then we'll get you somewhere to go get a load. And I asked them, can I take the truck over to the Indianapolis terminal to get the shop look at it? They didn't want to do that. So they turned around and wouldn't let me to do that. I ended up waiting 3 to 4 hours for a breakdown to show up because the batteries were dead on a brand new truck. It was a 2023. So, lo and behold, batteries were dead. I had to take the truck to the Indianapolis terminal anyways because I don't haul freight for Schaefer. I hauled freight for Crete carriers, not Schaefer trucking. So I ended up having to go to the Indianapolis terminal anyways. They go, well, you're not putting the truck in the shop. We're not letting you do that because the truck is good to go. And I'm like, how can you know that the truck's good to go when you didn't have access to this truck whatsoever? So I ended up having to clean the truck out, getting it reorganized and get the truck all stuffed up and ready to go. And then they turn around, sent me all the way back to Buffalo to go get the stuff out of my old truck so I could put it in this truck. And yeah, that turned into a fun ordeal. Then they turn around and that truck was in the shop, I'd say about 20 different times, 20 to 30 different times. Then they pulled me out of that truck and then they put me in the blue Kenworth that had the manual on it. Got that truck. That truck was not ready to go by any means. I picked that up out of North Platte at the Walmart DC. Truck had some battery issues. Cords needed to be changed. Airlines to go to the trailer needed to be changed. There were a few things that needed to be done to that truck. While I was at the Lincoln terminal, they replaced the airlines. They did basically a whole lot of nothing to the truck. The tablet was all messed up. A lot for my lugs. That took months and months and months, and then as time progressed, I found more and more stuff wrong with the truck. Trying to get that truck organized, trying to get it ready. That truck spent time in and out of different shops, and then I ended up, last time I was in Lincoln, it was at the Columbus terminal, because all their trucks, all the Kenworths have auto certs. The Freightliners that they have, I forgot what they call it for what the system for the Freightliners is, where I ended up getting the auto start working, but the AC wasn't working right. I needed it to have some stuff gone through on that truck before I continued. I forgot exactly what it was there for. I had a coolant leak, and they took it in. They had a cert that was due for a service for the AC or the aspirator heater for the sleeper had a service plan for it, but they needed a reason to look at it. I told them, the AC doesn't blow as good as it did. Not only did the AC not blow right, it wasn't as cold as it normally gets in the sleeper. So they pulled it all apart, and it was supposed to go in for a alternator, but they didn't want to. They found out that the truck was wired wrong. Don't know how that happened. Got the truck all fixed. The truck was running good. They pulled apart my AC, and now they're trying to figure out what it is. They said there was a switch. There's no switch in the back of those trucks. For all it is basically your knob for turning down the fan speed, or the AC, or the temperature on that controls the AC for the auto start. Turn around and show you how intelligent they said we had 3 of our best mechanics working on that truck. No, they didn't. Because when I got the truck back, I went to go relax, take a shower, get ready for the next day, and turn the auto start on. Figure I'd get the truck nice and cold. And the auto start basically did not get the truck nice and cold. The auto start worked for the cab, got the cab cold. The sleeper turned into a sauna. For some reason, on the settings for heat, cold, and it has 3 settings for hot, cold, and auto. I turned it on auto. That's what I always left it at. That way, if it gets too cold, it would kick the heat on, or it would kick the AC on, depending on the temperature, ambient temperature outside. But they turned around and messed that all up. Turn the auto start off. After I went back inside, they couldn't figure out what they did. So I went back inside, went back to the truck, turned the key on. The key would, if you ran the truck, the AC would run in the sleeper. But if you had the auto start on, it would turn the heat on no matter where you had the setting, whether it was hot, cold, or whatever. They couldn't figure it out. So they had me I ran the truck, figured out, get it home. When I go home, I'll have a Kenworth go take a look at it, figure it out. But as I was on my way down to Grand Island, Nebraska, the auto start decided to, or not the auto start, I'm sorry, the cruise control, which our cruise control at Crete and Schaefer is set at 68 miles an hour. And that turned out to be a living nightmare, because it would work, then it would cancel out and not work. The lights came on the dash like you're going to use it, but you go to set the speed and turn the cruise on, it wouldn't hold the speed. It wasn't functioning right. So they turned around and I let it go. I stopped at Lincoln at the terminal because I was going to deliver the load the next day. Got to the Lincoln terminal, went through my truck. I let dispatch everybody know that the truck's giving me a headache because the adaptive cruise ain't working. I had no cruise control, and with some of these loads that Crete gets, we have to actually have I need the 68 miles an hour, because a lot of times we're in areas where it's 68 miles an hour. Or 70, 75, 80 when you get up to Lincoln. When you get up to Nebraska, you can turn to 75. You get up to Oklahoma, it can turn 80 to 85 miles an hour in certain areas. So I would like to keep my speed at 68. Lo and behold, they pulled me out of that truck. It happened on a Sunday. They pulled me out of the truck Monday morning, sent me down to Cheyenne, Wyoming to pick up a different truck. They told me this truck was already good to go. It was a manual, the whole 9 yards. I get to this place and find out that the headlights doesn't work. There's I wrote up 2 pages of things, which I'd show you the list, but the list got completely saturated. So instead of them sending me to right to Lincoln, I sat in Cheyenne, Wyoming, waiting for a load to get out of there, to get to Lincoln to get my truck fixed. They sent me loads for Schaefer, even though I'm not on the Schaefer side. They had some help. They didn't have enough drivers to get to the loads. So they turned around and sent me for different areas for freight and that. And I'm like, no. I let them know that the truck's got to go to Lincoln. Got to go to the shop, get the truck fixed. Sat in Cheyenne, Wyoming, basically from Tuesday all the way to Friday, where I finally got a load to get out of Cheyenne, Wyoming, and get to Lincoln, where we T-called the load. That means I pick up the load and I take it for them to go pick it up. The problem is they sent me all the way to Colorado to go pick the load up. and then T called in Lincoln. So I'm like, all right, I could do that. After sitting a week in Cheyenne, and I turned around and basically sat for a whole week in Lincoln, Nebraska for them to fix my truck. Come to find out, when I went to go pick the load up in Colorado, I went to go drop my trailer, drop my airbags, my suspension to hook up to to drop my empty trailer, and the rear suspension wouldn't go back up. I had to play with the leveling valve. I spent 20 to 30 minutes of wasted time trying to fix the leveling valve on my truck. And then I ended up going to pick up my loaded trailer at Coolers, and then had to go all the way hooked up, got it all hooked up, ready to go. Got my load basically as legal as I could possibly get it, based on the scale ticket that I got from the Coolers manufacturing company. Boogied it on down to Lincoln, Nebraska, where IT called the load. Dropped the trailer. I had to do the same thing with the suspension again. This time it took me a little bit longer to get the leveling valve to actually let the truck go up, so that way I can go find a parking spot. Because you don't want to move too far with that drivetrain not being right. But now, mind you, this is all through the company that's telling me that I am very unproductive. Even though I ran the 90, they even threatened to terminate me if I didn't run 9,500 miles in 1 month. I did all that. I ran. I did everything that I could do. But when I went back, while my truck's in the shop, I figured the other truck was, I see the other truck that was there. That truck, my old truck, was back. They refused to give me back my old truck, which made literally no sense. Welcome to Crete carriers, where they make no sense on giving you a truck that you're used to, and you know all the quirks and kirks of the truck, and you can run with that truck. Meanwhile, they gave me a truck that they did have no clue on how to fix. Because when you tell somebody clearance light or the parking lights, the daytime running lights, and everything else do not work, you had the shop tech arguing with you that they all work when they don't. He's looking at up on the sleeper where the clearance lights are. He doesn't obviously know that Kenworth have hood markers, and the parking lights that are inside with the headlights didn't work. Clueless. But anyways, long story short, ended up getting the truck back here at Kenworth, where I live. They fixed part of it, but they missed something, and Crete refuses to let the parking lights. They got the marker lights, the daytime running lights working, but they refuse. They won't let them fix the parking lights on the truck. So, and then I ended up having a friend of mine that owns a pizzeria here in Buffalo, New York. The labor department's going after him, so the labor department sent me a thing to be in a hearing, and he turned around, and I let Crete know that I was going to take the hearing, and they weren't going to let me have any personal time or anything else. They told me that my choices were to either resign or they'd just basically terminate me on whatever. Or I could go out and try to deal with this court thing after the fact. And I'm like, you know what? I quit. I had enough of this. Because while I was in Lincoln on a Thursday, right, was the truck was just going through the shop, basically hopefully, I was hoping they get it fixed. I was told to go get it. They offered me a truck to go get that had somebody's equipment in it. and bring it from rent a car, go to Colorado, go get the truck, then go from Colorado to the St. Louis terminal, then go from the St. Louis terminal back to Lincoln. I'm not doing that. I refuse to touch somebody's stuff in the truck. I refuse to do any of that. And he said, well, next time you're, because that stops your breakdown pay. And I'm like, I don't care. Whatever. You want to stop my breakdown pay because I refuse to go get a truck? That's fine. I really don't care. I'm not wasting my time. I'm not doing that. When it's 11 hours to Colorado from Lincoln, and then I gotta sleep in a hotel, or which is fine. Then I gotta go bring somebody else's stuff back to Nebraska. They're like, "Well, you're gonna bring a load to take it from Colorado to Nebraska," and I'd be like, or not from Colorado to Nebraska, but from Colorado to Kansas City, Missouri, and I'm like, that ain't working because that means I gotta stay in the truck, and I'd prefer not to. But lo and behold, I refused to do that. The truck that I had was done in the shop. I just basically said, get me the hell out of here. Time to go home. Had enough fun sitting in the shop, so I ran a few loads here back and forth from Nebraska to Illinois, or Nebraska to Illinois, then from Illinois back to Iowa, and back and forth to Iowa, the two different targets. But I was not about to do that, go get this truck, so they told me that if I refuse to do it again, not only are they going to stop my breakdown pay, but they were going to fire me because I refused to go do that. They go, that's refusing work. I go, that's not refusing work. When you don't feel comfortable going to get a truck with somebody else's equipment in it. But as of right now, I am not working for anybody. I'm looking to see what I can find. I have a very clean safety score, so I'm looking. I got a few things that I'm working on. I'm hoping to get to work for a few other carriers that I applied to, but I had to do a paper application, and the one place that I'm trying to get into has far better equipment, and it seems like it's maintained a lot better than Crete does, where I don't have to worry about getting threatened to be terminated over not going to get a truck, when it's their fault that I was in the shop because they refused to let their mechanics and their breakdown people actually get this equipment fixed. Crete maintains their vehicles not all that well. And all their shop techs are complaining about the Kenworths over the Freightliners, and I'm like, really? Because I see less Freightliners in the shop, or I see a lot more Freightliners in the shop than I seen Kenworths in the shop. So, and if they would actually just take the time out and learn the difference between Cummins and Detroit, and stop worrying about what this one does, what that one does, just get the trucks fixed. Every terminal that I went to, everywhere I went to get my truck fixed, I kept blaming it on a part shortage. Yeah, you can only play that part shortage game for so long. Because I see other people getting their trucks fixed in a timely manner. Crete cannot do that. Now, this is not a video or a non-recommendation or a recommendation to join Crete, because I don't control anything that you do. That's an up to you decision. You want to go to work for Crete? Go for it. I can't tell you no. I won't tell you no. I don't like to badmouth companies, but Crete is not what they used to be. When I first went to driving school, I dealt with recruiters, and everybody I talked to, Crete was a good company. Even some of the drivers that I talked to in there said, Crete's not Crete. This ain't the same Crete that they came to know and like and work for. So, like I said, take everything that I say with a grain of salt. If you like this stuff, valuations of the company that I work for or want to know more information or have any questions, leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. The more you like, the more subscribers we get, the more I can reach out and get more information out to other people about these different carriers and different companies. But like I said, just keep with a grain of salt what I say about a carrier. Don't use them to judge what I say. Go by your own opinion. After all, I'm just one person. I'm not an angry or disgruntled employee. I just wish they took better care and did a better job with their drivers. Every carrier can learn and take care of their drivers better. Not have them run through hoops. Get all these numbers where they will call you, oh, you're not productive. You're unproductive. You need to be more productive and take things. No. It's my CSA score, my record, my license. I'll take it how I feel. I'm not pushing myself. I drive the way I drive. I'll get myself, if I drop off a load and I got another load that I can go to or get close to, I'll go pick it up. If I have the time and it's early and not later, I'll go pick it up, depending on what it is. If not, I'd rather go get it in the morning. But for now, this is it. For now, I will be doing another video, not sure when, but hopefully soon, with an update on what I'm doing. But for now, stay safe and enjoy the nice, beautiful fall weather. Until next time.